It began with the Second War. Persia, one of the greatest empires ever to exist, invaded Greece. An army that some believed was made out of millions battled Sparta's 300 best soldiers. King Leonidas and his men fought bravely but fell. Not long after this, Xerxes' fire fell over Athens. Pericles, son of the brave commander Xanthippus, fled to Salamis. When the family was reunited, Pericles grew up in a recovering Athens, formed by the words and ideas of people like Demas the musician and the philosopher Anaxagoras. He became an important man in Athenian politics. Eventually, he became the leader of the Democratic Party. Besides a brilliant politician, he was also a natural commander. He reorganized the Delian League and expanded Athens' democracy over its members, sometimes with force. Political issues and irritation between Greece's two most powerful states, Sparta and Athens, led to the Peloponnesian War. Old folks oftenly compared him to the beloved tyrant Pisistratus. His way of speaking and his physics looked like him. He was one of the most persuasive and best speakers in the world has ever seen. When the first soldiers had fallen, there was public funeral for them. Pericles spoke to the Athenians that day. It was this speech that made him more famous and beloved than ever before. In this speech, he honored the dead and showed the Athenians why they should fight. We have a form of state that is not a copy of another's traditions. We are the example, an example for others. Its name is democracy. Its name is democracy because matters of state are not privilege for a few, but a right of many. Poverty is no shame. The possibility to serve the community is open to anyone. But why does he say this? Why is he talking about democracy at a public funeral? Among the many people present were not only citizens, but also soldiers. These soldiers had to fight against the best soldiers the world has ever witnessed. The reason for using this speech to also talk about politics is simple. He gives everyone a reason for the war, a reason for these people's death, an extra reason to fight. He gives them something worth fighting for. His words mark what makes Athens so special: democracy. He connects poor with rich and says that they all fight for the same reason. He connects and gives them a reason worth fighting for. We are different than our opponents. Their military methods and discipline are different. We make our state to a place where we never expel strangers. We do not keep secrets, we do not rely on long military traps or wisdom. We rely on personal bravery. Spartans do not invade us by themselves, their allies invade us too. We only invade once, and this was not Sparta. When we invade one without effort, on strange lands against its people that defend their lands, we are the ones that are victorious. Why does he say this? Why does he compare the Athenians with the Spartans? He gives the Athenians his version of the truth. Like the other question, he gives another reason worth fighting for. He shows the Athenians that they are noble warriors, they're better men. By outing his trust in the soldiers, he gives them extra courage and confidence. Even when they lose, they were and are the better men. What was the purpose of the speech? Why did he say the things he said? First of all, he wanted to honor Athens. In hard times, people need each other and they connect. By speaking to every layer of the civilization, he lets them understand the true meaning of this. He praises the arts, the fantastic architectural achievements, the brave warriors of the marine, the merchants, and above all, democracy. The Athenians were proud of their polis, and Pericles wanted to make sure that they didn't forget that. The warriors did not fight for their own lives. They fought for their city, their community, and their polis. He wanted people to forget about the tragedy and to remember that these men died for the word and meaning of freedom. Is it not a bit hypocrite that he praises the Athenians? The Acropolis is monumental, but built with the money that belonged to the Delian League. He built monuments where he should raise armies and build ships. Isn't it a bit hypocrite to talk about freedom when you're the one that is the oppressor? Soon after the Persians were out of sight, Athens forced democracy among the liberated members of the League. It was Pericles himself who brought the treasures to Athens. This was indeed hypocrite. It's not that people didn't resist to it. The aristocrats of Athens spoke negatively about this and even sued Pericles for it. But Pericles, being the famous word sorcerer he is, said the next thing about this. If you want the building of these monuments with the money of our allies to stop, then I will stop it. And I will pay for the building myself, and I'll make sure that my name is carved in them. The Athenians quickly dropped charges after hearing this. He also said that Athens had enough money of their own to build a navy and an army while building these massive monuments. And of course, building these constructions created extra jobs. But wasn't this imperialistic way of thinking of Pericles the first reason that started the war? The few people that understood and knew this did not say this out loud, because it was Pericles who made Athens so powerful between the two wars. Pericles was also a man that was afraid of many things. He always persuaded instead of demanding. This made him nigh on uncatchable. Despite his efforts and his brilliant speeches, the Spartan king Archimedes destroyed Athens on a yearly basis. The Athenians grew unhappy about Pericles' strategy. He was dismissed as commander. Even though he was almost immediately summoned back, the fact that he was dismissed broke his will and life force. He was ready for war but could not perform his ideas. Plague broke out in Athens, and he had to witness the death of his wife and his 2 sons. Soon the plague caught Pericles too, and he gradually lost his powers of mind and body until he finally died. While he was on his deathbed, the leading men of Athens were talking about the great things that Pericles had done for the city. They thought that he could not overhear them, but Pericles raised himself up and said that they had forgotten the thing in his life that he was most proud of: his moderation in the use of tyrannical power. Not only was Pericles merciful and courteous among so many vicious enemies, but he also had the good judgment to realize that he deserved praise for not allowing himself to be carried away by feelings of hate and anger.